range of programming. There are different types of service bureaus. There are service bureaus that strictly sell softwares. There are service bureaus that sell software and partnership. There are service bureaus that strictly sell partnerships. So the business is vast, and if you're not careful, and if you don't approach it strategically, you will find yourself being all over the place. What I tell a lot of my newer service bureau clients or service bureau partner is you have to kind of find a niche and stick to it. The niche is who your target audience are, how you're going to speak to them, where you're going to find them, so that it can help you understand the industry, understand the business model, and set some goals
Mhm.
around what that target audience looks like. And as a new service bureau, I always recommend that you have a very, very laser focused strategy, meaning you pick one sector of the business model, one sector of the industry, and hone in on it, master it, and then you can start expanding. One of the questions that John posed to me was, can I sell tax software to already existing tax professionals? You can. I mean, you already it's your software. You have as many licenses as you want. But as a new service bureau, are you going to be able to offer them what they're not getting somewhere else right now? Are you going to be able to deliver the level of support, the level of service? Do you have the infrastructure to support someone that's been doing taxes for 5 years, someone that's been doing taxes for 2 years, 3 years? I always like to build from scratch, build organically, so that you can be able to grow your business at your own pace. So some of what I recommended send is you guys is John has been in the industry for a while. We partner with him through one of our other partners who passed away a few years ago. So we've had some level of working experience with John. Well, Dominic, I'm not sure about the background, how long you've been in the industry. So my proposal to to see how you can build your model around recruiting your own tax offices, like your own partners, and training them from top to bottom. If they have a little bit of tax preparation experience, that's great. That's a plus. You can take those guys and build them into your program, help them become the entrepreneurs that you want them to become so that you can work with them in scaling your own business. Because what's going to happen as they grow, they start recruiting more tax offices. That's how your program starts to expand. So going directly and trying to get convert customers from Drake, Lacert, and all of those other major brands that we're all competing with, I think for a new service bureau, it will be a bit challenging. So John agreed that we're going to focus our business model around recruiting new tax preparers or recruiting individuals that have some level of tax preparation experience, but not necessarily a business owner. However,
Yeah.
they have a little bit of entrepreneur drive in them. And he thought it was a great idea. He agreed. And our focus was, okay, how can we just put some numbers to it, right? So if we say we want to go after 10 tax preparers, just 10. If you get more, perfect. If you get eight, that's okay. But 10, I think, is a magic number. It's easier to manage. And even if each one of those 10 preparers are doing between 50 to 100 customers, your program just did 1,000 bank products or 500 bank products. And if you tally up what that partnership looks like in terms of revenue share, your first year, you will have some testimonials, you will have some great experience, and the same exact tax preparers that you've already built, among them, you'll build some loyalty there and you'll be able to make money as you go. So that's what we
Okay.
discussed. I
So
just
are you
want
are
to
you
give you
saying that for this year we're only recruiting, people that have tax preparation experience? We can't recruit people that have like zero experience and then try to train them up and then.
it's a
do
longer
that, or does it have to be established?
it's a longer process for you. If you don't have that experience with already having an EFIN, what I was trying to tell you in the messages and everything, like you don't have an EFIN, you haven't done banking compliance, things of that nature, and all of that. Is going to take you a longer process in reference to that, as opposed to you getting tax professionals that's already experienced with taxes, right? You mitigate the time that you have to do to train them. All you have to do is train them how to navigate through the software instead of teaching them about tax preparation. Granted, if you do have that tax preparation knowledge and you know how to prepare various forms of taxes, right, that's a plus. But if you have somebody that already has experience, you teach them how to navigate through the software, you have a direct input, and then you have interview input. Aside from that, right, now you can focus on volume and more on the technical aspect of things because they already know how to do stuff. So now you can make your income passively. Now, if you already know how to prepare taxes, right, and you're savvy with it, that's a extra plus. That's a caveat in reference to your business. Now, yeah, Alpha, do you agree with me?
I agree with you. But I also I wonder like bring it in-house a bit, right?
Right.
Um, is you want to shorten your timeline in terms of what training looks like, okay? You want to make sure that you have a feasible enough runway that you're not like doing everything from scratch. So the good way to start is individuals that have some experience, whether it's 1 year or 2 year, that work with another company that now you're giving them an opportunity to run their own office, right? So those individuals don't have to be so savvy in terms of like running a tax business or tax laws, because now you have a little bit of experience there to bring them up to par. I've also seen service bureaus recruiting entrepreneur-driven individuals, right? That have some level of computer skills that either insurance or like they've been around computer, they know how to navigate, they have customer service. So it's a good mixture to bring them. The only difference is that it's going to be a longer runway to train them tax laws or what a head of household is or what uh, 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 like married filing jointly return looks like. But most tax service bureaus in this model that I've seen, they will host their own classes, their own tax training, so that they can bring in their own people with or without tax experience and build them up that way. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It's a shame that I got booted from the H&R. My hard drive got wiped, and I got booted from the H&R platform. Otherwise, I would have been able to have those trading videos on hand. That would make it easier. As well, I wanted to recruit people to, like that have like zero tax experience going forward, and then just feed them like the TKAs, feed them the videos and see how well they do.
You got
Yeah,
But
so
I guess that
let's
option, yeah.
so let's so we let's get an ideal. We want 10 people. We want to between you and John, you guys want to manage 10 partners this year, hypothetically, 10 partners. Five of those partners are from either Jackson Hewitt, Liberty, whatever. And then the other five are just individuals that have entrepreneur skills, right? So you put all those people in one class. Everybody got to go through the same training anyway. Those that already have experience in from a theory perspective, they will basically help you with those who don't have experience in the theory, right? And then everybody will need to do the software training together. So it's always good to have a mixture of you might have someone that is good at tax preparation, but they're not a good marketing person. They're not gonna make you any money. Or you might have someone that's a good marketing person that they don't have like tax preparation experience. Can you build them up that way? You guys are starting okay because it's like I said, it takes about 90 days to really put a solid team together. So I just want to make sure that we all agree on the business model. Once we agree on the business model, then we can start moving and crafting. My job is to make sure that we have a laser focus going into the tax season so you can know exactly who and how you're recruiting those individuals.
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty wired in on it, you know me, Alpha. But
Okay.
I also have a question. That way you can provide Dom some clarity. In reference to contractual basis, right, with these partnerships that you develop, can you disclose to Dom how it works in the service bureau industry? That one, it's not a one-time fee. It's something that's like every year, those partnerships that you have, right? You're going to it's like a subscription. It's an annual subscription. Even with between me and you guys, I'm paying an annual subscription, right?
Yeah. So every year, you have new batch of customers, and then you have your old customers. When I say customers, I'm talking about your preparers or your partners. They're your customers. So they will either do more tax returns, and you're going to bring in people new. So every year, you're making revenue, and if you built the program good enough, your revenue will increase every year. So it's like a SaaS model. I'm not sure if like it's every transaction that goes through your system, you get some type of compensation for it. Whether it's 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, every year you get compensation as your book of business grows, you keep growing, right? So it's I wouldn't necessarily use it like contractual. Let's say this year you have 10 tax preparers, next year you have 20 tax preparers, the year after that you have 30. You're gonna make a transactional fee on every return that those people process through your system.
And Alpha, another question in reference to like let's say for instance the minimum 10 partnerships, right? Let's say each of these partners 50 to 100 returns. What is a dollar figure that will be aligned with that?
Good question. So you can see my screen, right? I'm gonna do a quick illustration for you, okay? We have partners, PARTNERS. We have 10 of them. And then each one of them, we have a bank product. It's let's say minimum 50 because I'm just saying 50 if they only do uh so now you have 500. So out of this 500, you have a service bureau fee, right? So let's assume your service bureau fee is $60 per transaction. So I'll say $60 per transaction. So it's 500 times 60. So now you just made 30,000 in service bureau fee, just a service bureau fee. And then the tax preparation fee on the average is about 375 to 400. So I'll just say 375. And you're charging royalties on those 30%, right? So 30% is your royalty fee on every client. So we take the 500 returns. So we take the 30% out of uh hold up, 0.03 points. So 30% of 375. So each transaction from the tax preparation fee, you're making $125. So $125 times our 500 customers that they prepare. So you have $56,250. So now you're charging for the software licenses. So if your software license, I'm just giving you the different ways you make money. So software license, let's assume you're charging, I don't know, $699 per license, and then you sold 10 license. Enter. So you have $6,999. So let's put this into perspective. Service bureau fee from 500 customers that all 10 of your tax preparer did, you made $30,000.
Yeah, each 10, like 10 partners created 50 tax returns.
Yes, and then you charge $60 per service bureau fees. Okay? So service bureau fee total is 30,000. And then you took 30% of all of their preparation fee. So we'll call that prep fee, right? That's about $56,250. And then you sold the tax software to them at $699. So that's $6,999, $990. So the total that you generated in revenue for your program is a total of 93,000 $493,240. That's just on you. That's you not touching a single tax return. You did not prepare no return. You supported these 10 individuals, that these 10 individuals each produce about 50 customers. Out of that 50 customers, it was a total of 500 customers that your group just generated. From that group, you charge them $60 per service bureau fee, which gave you a total of 30,000. You also charge them a 30% on their preparation fee at a very low, which is $375 per person. So you made $112.50, which gave you a total of 56,000, and then the software license. So imagine if you increase, if you did 1,000 among all 10 of your customers.
Can you just repeat the license cost, like your provide license cost for one person?
What was your question?
He wants to know the
What you
license
said the
cost.
service bureau fee, and then there was another fee related to licensing. What was the licensing
So for every
per
time you
client?
So for every time you deploy a software to Ethan or to a person, we charge for it. We charge, you charge. So that's just for them to use the software. That does not that's just you charging to basically give them a new software for that tax season. So we charge 800, sometimes 1,000. Some service bureau charge 500, some service bureau charge 300. 699 is industry standard for one license. So you are not given a license for free. You have to charge for the license.
So the license out of that 800 to 1,000 that your company charges, what was the net, like the margin that John kept last year?
Say that again.
That's private.
So out of that
I can't
$800,
disclose John's. I can't disclose that number, but what I'm saying is you have every year we bill you. So our program is not free. But we don't charge you. We don't touch your prep fee. We don't whatever you charge for service bureau fee, that's on you. We have our own fee that we attach to that. And then the software, whatever, like when you buy the program, it comes with X amount of software. So I don't know what John contract looks like, but the cost is no more than 20% of whatever your total uh, uh,
Can you show him
revenue is.
can you show him the packages on the website real quick?
Yeah, I don't think he's on his phone,
I'm
so
on
he
the
can't
phone, so I don't
see.
have any access
Yeah.
to any visual diagrams that you may be
Okay,
showing on there.
okay.
Uh,
Yeah, different packages gives that tax professional or that EFIN holder different percentages. So Can you scroll down a little bit?
Yeah, so you have on your website you have four packages, right? And it starts at $799. It goes as high as 2,799. Those are just the software fee. And each one of these
For us,
packages, go ahead.
like for us to pay.
Say that again.
Not for
So
you
the
to
two
pay,
thousand
for
seven hundred ninety five is something that I'm assuming John pays or I pay annually.
no, 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 no.
That's what your customers pay to you annually.
What the customers pay to you on top of based on the percentage in negotiations that you have with them. So
Yes.
if they pay
Okay.
$799, then you get 40% of their revenue from preparation fees that they have. On top of that, service bureau fees. And then including with
Okay.
that $799 package, right? That's a package for just that tax calendar year. That's not something that's indefinite. That's something that's going to be revenue. So if that person wants to come into partnership with you again next year, you're going to
They
charge
gotta pay the
that
same
same
amount.
1099 again.
Yeah. In addition to
Okay.
that, there are other revenue opportunities. There are e-file fees, document fees, and I don't even want to go into that because I don't want to confuse you. But as you get into it, you will see other levels. What I just shared with you is like the basic minimum. If you're charging for the software for your customer, your tax preparers to use the software, if you're charging them a percentage on the tax preparation fee, and you charging them your service bureau fee. Those three fee buckets is how you make money as a service bureau, and you don't have to prepare a single tax return.
Okay.
Make sense? So that means any
Yeah.
contract that you have, right? Aside from what we talked about, because I'm still talk to you, when you make that contract with that person, that money, if they continuously come through the company, right, that's your client. That's going to continuously come to you every single year, including with that, the tax return fees. On top of that, the service bureau fees, because that's your relationship. That relationship is indefinite to you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not gonna be just a
Yeah.
one-time thing and then oh, I cut the relationship off and then that cuts off your revenue. No, that's continuous revenue for you. But
Yeah, every year. And they left with you. It
Yeah.
left
Yeah.
with how it is left with you, how savvy you are as an entrepreneur, how savvy you are as a salesperson, and how savvy you are as an account manager. I've seen people take one customer and turn it into like 50, 60 tax offices. So it's just left with how much you as a company or as a infrastructure is willing to put into the program. But it's a tested model that have worked years after years, and I've seen a lot of success stories.
okay.
Yeah.
So the next thing alpha is like the actual plan, like the training.
So
Okay.
yeah, so I created since now we Dominic, do you have any other questions? I think there's still a little bit of confusion on the business model, which I understand. Is there anything else I could clarify for you?
No, so I understand the business model is kind of like a recurring like like if insurance producers we're using that analogy, it's kind of like an annual, if they keep coming back, you keep getting paid basically. It's like a flow, like a water flow.
I hate to use
So
the
I understood
word.
that.
Look at it as I hate
Like
to
a
use that
pyramid.
word. It's like affiliate marketing,
Like
right?
MLM.
Yeah.
Uh, the more individuals, the more offices you can build under you, right? The more money you
Yeah.
make over the period of time. So
Yeah.
you would just keep making money every season. Like as long as you keep your people, your tax offices happy, they're well trained, you engage them throughout the year, not just during tax season. Um, you end up building a book of business that you wouldn't even know how to control if you don't have the right
Yeah.
infrastructure to support.
Yeah. And I know we talked a little about revenue. What about the regulatory risks? If say we get like letters from the RS saying, this preparation is wrong, that preparation is wrong, and then we're managing someone under us, and then
You're
they
not
bust up.
you're not held
Uh,
liable for that because that's not under your EFIN. That's under their
But this that's a good question though, John. Let's look into it because you, there are some service bureaus that, let's say for instance, someone you got a tax preparer that wants to be a partner this year, and you don't have enough time for them to go through the EFIN process. You're
uh,
gonna have to issue them a EFIN,
right.
right? So how do you mitigate that risk is what he's trying to find out.
That makes
If your goal is to make sure that all of your tax offices get their own EFIN number, period. However, you're gonna run into situations where like you just don't have enough time. There's some you recruited somebody too late, or somebody has some issues and they can't get a EFIN number. So how do you mitigate that risk in terms of them working under your EFIN? You can issue as many EFINs as you want, but how do you mitigate that risk? And to answer that question, one is every tax preparer that's under your program, if they cannot get a P10 number, you got to get them out. So the P10 is the very least that you will be able to assign someone on. In addition to that, that you have to make sure that you put these tax preparers through rigorous compliance trainings with the bank compliance, IRS
yeah,
compliance. So you have to have a very, very solid training program.
yeah,
You will run into a situation where you might just have one bad apple. But like you
yeah,
have to
yeah.
make sure that you mitigated
You
that.
know, the one that bad apple is enough to make the whole office look bad. I'm trying to just visualizing a little bit of like the problem one of the external block offices ran into last year was there was a taxpayer that did some taxes, and then there was an RS letter that came for him, but they no longer work there. So it kind of became the office's responsibility, or more generally, the manager's responsibility. So, what's not to say if we have too many, people that we're not supervising or managing clearly enough that, that they mess up in some capacity that can trace back to us,
So it
like
goes
from a risk
back to
standpoint.
it goes back to my original point in terms of setting up a system that's manageable until you get a hang of how to manage a bigger operations, right? That's why my
Yeah,
recommendation is like try to keep at your first year until you understand. Try to keep it under 10 offices. Like anything over there, I think it would be biting too much because you have to pay attention. You have to be ready to kick somebody out of your system. You have to be alert. So if whether they use their own EFIN or they don't use their own EFIN, you just want to make sure that you build a program that has solid training and solid compliance, so that you will be able to
yeah,
mitigate some of these risks. But I
yeah.
mean, it comes with the territory. H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, Liberty, they all go through those things. But like what did you do to mitigate that risk is the biggest question.
Okay, okay.
Is it any other questions, concerns?
No, I think that was pretty clear.
All right, awesome. So I did like based on our conversation, John, I kind of like did a brief, this is real high level type training information that I'm gonna send to you, but we'll have to go a little, you're gonna take this and try to go a little Service Bureau training and onboarding process. It basically shows you how to recruit first. Like you have to recruit. This You're in a recruitment phase. You're not in onboarding phase. You're not in training phase, and you're not in support phase. Right now, your phase is recruiting. How do you recruit? Who are you recruiting? Where do you recruit from? Once you have that down packed, you have a list of recruits. how do you onboard them, right? What's the proper way of onboarding them? What are some of industry standards to be able to onboard them? Going through all of that is a whole nother ballgame all by itself. And then once you onboard